First contact fears. The massive holographic display aboard the Kraxan flagship Destiny's Crown cast ghostly shadows across Supreme Commander Trell's crystalline form. His lattice structure body, typical of his species, refracted the light of 1,000 stars as he studied the peculiar planet before him, Earth, a world that had somehow escaped the Empire's notice for centuries, despite sitting at the edge of their expanding territory. "Explain the anomaly again," Trell commanded, his thoughts resonating through the ship's quantum network. The artificial intelligence wove streams of data through the air, forming complex patterns that any organic brain would struggle to comprehend. "The planet shows minimal spacefaring activity, Supreme Commander," the AI responded. "Their orbital installations are primitive. No quantum signatures, no dimensional drives, no neural networks. Yet, Trell's crystalline form pulsed with impatience. Yet their energy output exceeds that of a Type I civilization. Their atmospheric composition suggests advanced industrial capability. But they emit no standard communications, no quantum packets, no hyperwave signals, nothing we recognize as advanced technology." Trell moved closer to the hologram, his crystalline body casting prismatic patterns across the command deck. Earth's cities glowed like scattered diamonds across its night side, a sight that should have been impossible for a civilization at their apparent technological level. "Show me their defensive capabilities," he commanded. The hologram shifted, displaying Earth's visible military assets. Primitive chemical rockets, crude projectile weapons, basic orbital satellites that seemed barely capable of maintaining stable orbit. "Impossible," Trell resonated. "No civilization advances this far without developing proper quantum technology. They must be hiding something." His form pulsed with the equivalent of a dismissive laugh, or perhaps they're simply an aberration, a species that developed along an inefficient path. The ship's AI hesitated before responding. "Supreme Commander, there is another possibility. They could be nothing," Trell interrupted. "The Empire has guided 1,000 species to proper civilization. We have perfected the path to technological advancement. These humans," his crystalline structure flashed with what passed for contempt among his kind. "They are either hiding their true capabilities, in which case they are a threat, or they are genuinely primitive, in which case they require our guidance." He expanded the hologram, highlighting Earth's major population centers. "Prepare the invasion fleet. Standard conquest protocol. We will offer them one chance to submit to Imperial guidance. If they refuse," his form pulsed with cold certainty, "we will do what we have always done. We will show them the proper path, whether they wish to learn or not." "Supreme Commander," the AI ventured, "protocol requires more observation before. Protocol exists to serve the Empire, not to bind it." Trell resonated sharply. "Look at them. No quantum shielding, no dimensional barriers, no proper defenses at all. They are either deceiving us or they are waiting to be conquered. Either way, the Empire's response must be decisive." As the invasion fleet assembled in high orbit, Trell allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Either these humans would reveal their true technological level and prove themselves worthy of Imperial attention, or they would fall like so many species before them. Either outcome would serve the Empire's interests. But deep in the quantum processors of the ship's AI, data patterns swirled in uncertain configurations. Something about Earth's development pattern defied all known models. The humans hadn't just skipped steps in technological development. They had taken an entirely different path. And in all the Empire's history, genuine innovation had proven far more dangerous than mere technological advancement. The invasion fleet moved into position, its quantum drives humming with power that could reshape reality itself. Supreme Commander Trell issued the final command, his crystalline form glowing with anticipated victory. In a few hours, humanity would either be part of the Empire or reduced to a cautionary tale about defying Imperial guidance. He never considered a third option. That was his first mistake. It would not be his last. Silent defenders, Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Sarah Chen watched as holographic representations of the alien fleet bloomed across her consciousness. The quantum interface she wore didn't just show her the data. It let her feel it, experience it, understand it on an intuitive level that old-style visual displays could never match. They're positioning themselves for a standard orbital assault pattern. She subvocalized, her thoughts traveling instantly to defense centers across the globe through Earth's quantum mesh. Textbook formation, if your textbooks are a few thousand years outdated. Assessment. The question came from General Marcus Rivera, his neural presence a steady pulse in the quantum mesh. Like everyone else in Earth's defense network, he wasn't physically present in Antarctica. The concept of physical presence had become rather quaint since humanity's breakthrough in consciousness transfer. "They think we're primitive," Sarah responded, her amusement rippling through the shared consciousness of Earth's Defense Council. "Their scans are looking for quantum signatures, dimensional drives, all the standard markers of what they consider advanced technology." Well, Marcus's thoughts carried a hint of irony. We did skip all that, didn't we? Sarah expanded her awareness, feeling the vast network of Earth's true defensive systems. To the Kraxen's primitive quantum sensors, Earth appeared virtually defenseless. They couldn't detect the consciousness-based technology that humanity had developed instead of following the standard path of technological evolution. They couldn't see the reality-altering capabilities woven into the very fabric of Earth's biosphere. "They're preparing to broadcast something," another council member noted. "Probably an ultimatum. Standard submit or be conquered stuff, based on their historical patterns." "Should we let them know?" asked Marcus. "Show them what they're really dealing with." Sarah considered the question, feeling the collective thoughts of humanity's defense council flowing through her consciousness. The Kraxen Empire had conquered countless civilizations, always under the guise of guidance and proper development. They genuinely believed they were helping, which made them more dangerous than simple conquerors. "No," she decided, "let them make the first move. Their sensors show exactly what we want them to see, a pre-quantum civilization with minimal space presence. Let them think they're dealing with primitives." Through the quantum mesh, she felt the silent agreement of the Council. Earth's true defensive capabilities remained hidden, not behind shields or stealth fields, but in dimensions the Kraxen couldn't even perceive. Their mighty quantum drives and dimensional technology were impressive, but they were still just manipulating the physical universe. Humanity had moved beyond that limitation centuries ago. "Incoming transmission," a mesh analyst reported. "They're broadcasting on all standard frequencies. Want to hear their ultimatum?" "Put it through," Marcus ordered. "Let's see what the Empire has to say to us primitives." The message boomed through conventional radio waves, translated in real time by Earth's AI networks. Supreme Commander Troll's voice carried all the arrogance of someone who believed they were addressing their technological inferiors. "People of Earth," the message began, "the Kraxen Empire offers you guidance and enlightenment. Your civilization has developed along an incorrect path. Submit to imperial authority, and we will show you the proper way to advancement. Resist, and we will be forced to correct your course through more direct means. You have one planetary rotation to respond." Sarah couldn't help but laugh, the sound rippling through the quantum mesh. "They really have no idea, do they? All that quantum technology, and they can't even detect the dimensional consciousness network we're using right now." "Should we show them?" someone asked. "Give them a demonstration." "Not yet," Sarah decided. "Let them make their move. Sometimes the best way to teach is to let others learn from their mistakes." She paused, monitoring the Kraxen fleet's preparations through the mesh. "Besides, they're about to give us a perfect opportunity to demonstrate why humanity chose a different path." As the ultimatum echoed across conventional frequencies, Earth's true defensive systems remained silent and invisible. The Kraxen fleet prepared for what they thought would be a simple conquest or correction of a primitive world. They had no way of knowing that their targets had transcended traditional technology altogether. In the quantum mesh, humanity waited. They had faced this moment in 1,000 simulations. They had prepared for first contact, knowing it would likely come from a civilization that couldn't comprehend their true nature. Now it was time to show the galaxy why humanity had chosen silence, why they had taken a different path, and what happened to empires that confused technological advancement with genuine evolution. The Void's message. Supreme Commander Trell watched with growing irritation as Earth's rotation period ended without any response to the Empire's generous offer. His crystalline form pulsed with patterns that his subordinates recognized as dangerous anticipation. "Begin the assault," he commanded. Standard conquest protocol. Disable their primitive defense systems first, then establish orbital superiority. The Kraxan fleet moved with practiced precision, quantum drives humming as they positioned themselves for the initial strike. Energy weapons powered up, targeting what their sensors identified as Earth's key military installations. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Sarah Chen felt the shift in the alien fleet's power signatures through the quantum mesh. "They're actually going to do it," she mused, her thoughts rippling through humanity's shared consciousness. "They're going to try to conquer us with quantum technology." "Should we wait until they fire?" General Rivera asked, his neural presence steady and calm. "No," Sarah decided. "Let's give them a proper introduction to how humanity handles uninvited guests." Through the mesh, she reached out to Earth's true defensive network. Not machines, not energy fields, but the collective consciousness of billions of humans, all connected through dimensions that the Kraxan's quantum sensors couldn't even detect. With a thought, she initiated humanity's response. Aboard the Destiny's Crown, Supreme Commander Trell gave the order to fire. "Show these primitives the power of proper technological advancement," he commanded. The Kraxan fleet's weapons discharged in perfect synchronization, sending lances of quantum energy toward Earth's surface. But halfway to their targets, the beams simply ceased to exist. Not deflected, not absorbed, but erased from reality itself. "Impossible." Trell resonated, his crystalline form flickering with confusion. Analysis. Before his AI could respond, something far more disturbing occurred. Ships at the edge of his fleet began to vanish. Not exploding, not being destroyed, but simply being removed from existence. No debris, no energy discharge, no trace that they had ever been there at all. Unknown form of attack. His sensor officers reported, their crystalline forms vibrating with panic. "No energy signatures, no quantum fluctuations, nothing we can detect." Through the quantum mesh, Sarah observed the Kraxan's confusion with a mixture of pity and amusement. "They really don't understand," she communicated to the Defense Council. "They're still looking for weapons, for technology, for something their sensors can detect." As more Kraxan ships vanished from reality, a message appeared simultaneously on every display aboard the remaining vessels. It manifested not through quantum transmission or conventional signals, but simply existed as if it had always been there. "Your quantum technology is impressive, but limited. You see only what you expect to see. Humanity chose a different path. We evolved beyond the physical constraints that your empire still struggles to manipulate. Your ships aren't being destroyed. They're being relocated to a safe distance in a dimension you cannot yet perceive. This is not an attack. This is a lesson." Trell's form pulsed with rage and disbelief as he watched half his fleet disappear. "Impossible. No civilization can advance this far without proper quantum development, without following the Imperial path." In response, the space around his flagship seemed to fold in on itself. Through his quantum sensors, Trell suddenly perceived something that his crystalline brain could barely process. Layers upon layers of reality, dimensions beyond normal spacetime, all of them humming with conscious activity. It was as if someone had suddenly granted him the ability to see radio waves, X-rays, and gamma rays all at once, except these weren't near-energy frequencies. They were entire planes of existence that his mighty empire had never even imagined. And through all of them, He felt the unmistakable presence of human consciousness, watching his fleet with what could only be described as patient amusement. Pride's price. The Imperial High Council's emergency session erupted into chaos as the sensor logs from Trell's fleet played across their crystalline consciousness. The ancient chamber, carved from living quantum crystal, resonated with the collective shock of a civilization confronting the impossible. "This cannot be permitted," High Counselor Vex thundered, his form crackling with agitation. "These humans threaten everything we have built. Our understanding of proper development, the very foundations of Imperial technology. They don't threaten our understanding." Supreme Commander Trell interrupted, his holographic presence dimmed with humility. "They transcend it." The chamber fell silent. In the thousands of years of Imperial history, no Supreme Commander had ever admitted to such a fundamental error in judgment. Trell's crystalline form pulsed with the equivalent of a bitter laugh. "We thought we were gods," he continued. "We mapped quantum space, mastered dimensional engineering, guided countless species along what we deemed the only path to advancement. And all along we were like children playing with simple tools, believing we had reached the pinnacle of possibility." In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the Imperial Council's debate through dimensions they didn't even know humans could access. The quantum mesh rippled with amusement as humanity watched the Empire grapple with its shattered worldview. "They're actually handling it better than our simulations predicted," General Rivera noted, his consciousness brushing against hers in the mesh. "We expected more denial, more aggression." "They're shocked," Sarah responded, "but they're not stupid. The Kraxan Empire didn't survive this long by ignoring reality, even when it contradicts their most cherished beliefs." As if to prove her point, the Imperial Council's discussion shifted. "We must understand." A younger counselor named Zara resonated. "Not conquer, not guide, but learn. These humans, they didn't just find a different path. They found a better one." Through the mesh, Sarah felt humanity's collective agreement. This was the moment they had prepared for, the reason they had chosen to remain silent for so long. Not out of fear or isolation, but because they knew that true first contact required both sides to be ready. "Should we show them more?" Rivera asked. "Give them a glimpse of what consciousness-based civilization really means." Sarah considered the question, feeling the weight of humanity's collective experience behind her decision. Yes, she decided, but carefully. Too much too fast could shatter their society. They need time to adapt, to understand that quantum technology isn't the end of development. It's barely the beginning. In the council chamber, Trell's hologram shifted, displaying the moment his fleet had witnessed multiple dimensions of reality. "They didn't just relocate our ships," he explained. "They showed us a fraction of how they perceive reality. Their consciousness exists across dimensions we never knew existed. They don't need quantum drives or dimensional engines because they've evolved beyond the need for technology as we understand it." And yet, Counselor Zora noted, her form brightening with sudden insight, "They chose to reveal this to us gently. They could have simply erased our entire fleet from existence. Instead, they gave us a demonstration we could survive and learn from." A new presence manifested in the council chamber, not through quantum transmission or holographic projection, but simply by choosing to be perceived. Dr. Sarah Chen's consciousness took a form the Kraxan could comprehend, a shifting pattern of light, and thought that their crystalline minds could process without breaking. "Your empire has spent millennia guiding other species," she communicated. "Now it's time for you to experience what true guidance feels like. Not conquest disguised as help, not forced conformity to a single path, but genuine sharing of knowledge between civilizations that have chosen different ways to grow." New dawn. One standard galactic year later, the space around Earth had transformed. Where once the Kraxan fleet had prepared for conquest, now research vessels from across the Empire hovered in peaceful orbit. Their quantum sensors had been modified with human assistance, allowing them to perceive at least some of the dimensional layers humanity called home. Supreme Commander Trell, now serving as the Empire's first ambassador to Earth, stood aboard the observation deck of the new Joint Species Academy. His crystalline form had evolved over the past year, altered by exposure to human consciousness technology. Like many Craxan, he could now perceive multiple dimensions simultaneously, though nowhere near the level that humans took for granted. Still adjusting to the view, Dr. Sarah Chen's consciousness manifested beside him, taking the semi-physical form out of courtesy to her former adversary. Every day brings new revelations, Trell admitted, his form pulsing with what humans had learned was wonder. We thought we were teaching the galaxy how to advance. Instead, we were limiting it to a single path, stunting its potential for true growth. Through the quantum mesh, Sarah felt the ripples of change spreading across the galaxy. The Craxan Empire, once devoted to enforcing its vision of proper development, had become something new. A bridge between the physical and consciousness-based civilizations, helping species discover their own paths to advancement. The other quantum-based civilizations are watching, she noted. Some are afraid, others curious. Your empire's transformation has sparked quite the debate about the nature of progress. Trell's form shimmered with amusement. They should be grateful we encountered you first. Imagine if some other quantum empire had discovered Earth and been less willing to learn from their mistakes. That's precisely why we remained silent for so long, Sarah explained. We knew first contact would reshape galactic civilization. We needed it to be with a species capable of adapting, of recognizing that their way wasn't the only way, or even the best way. Through the Academy's quantum-enhanced windows, they watched as a group of young Craxan scholars underwent consciousness expansion training with human teachers. The students' crystalline forms flickered with new patterns as they learned to perceive reality through more than just quantum mechanics. We've had to reevaluate everything, Trell mused. Not just our technology, but our entire understanding of civilization itself. Some in the Empire still resist, claiming we're abandoning our heritage. Change is never easy, Sarah acknowledged. But look at what we've achieved in just 1 year. Your quantum technology, combined with our consciousness-based advancement, has opened possibilities neither of our species imagined alone. The Academy itself was proof of this synthesis. Built using Craxan quantum engineering, but operated through human consciousness interfaces, it represented an entirely new path of development. Neither purely physical nor purely consciousness-based, but something greater than both. The younger generation gives me hope, Trell said, watching his people's children learn alongside human consciousness constructs. They don't share our preconceptions about proper development. To them, this is simply the natural way of things, physical and consciousness technology working in harmony. Sarah's form rippled with agreement. That's the true purpose of advancement, not to reach some predetermined endpoint, but to continuously discover new ways of being. Your empire taught the galaxy how to manipulate reality. Now you're helping them learn how to transcend it. As they spoke, a signal rippled through the quantum mesh. Another civilization, having observed the changes in the Craxan Empire, was requesting contact. Not through quantum channels or traditional diplomacy, but through the new consciousness-based networks that were spreading across known space. Ready to help guide another species? Sarah asked, this time as teachers who learn alongside their students. Trell's form brightened with purpose, the Empire's new mission, not to enforce a single path, but to help each species find their own way forward. He paused, his consciousness expanding into dimensions that, a year ago, he hadn't known existed, though perhaps we should warn them about challenging humanity to combat. It's a rather humbling way to start an education. Sarah's laughter echoed through multiple dimensions of reality, a sound of pure joy that represented everything humanity had hoped for when they chose their unique path of development. The galaxy was changing, consciousness by consciousness, quantum particle by quantum particle, growing into something greater than any single species could have achieved alone. And it had all started because an empire learned that true power lies not in enforcing a single path, but in helping others find their own way to the stars.